Predictive filtering uses a statistical approach to predict whether smart filter values are likely associated with relevant documents. When predictive filtering is active, you see the predictions as percentages when you open any smart filter on the analysis page. These predictions give you more insight into your data than smart filter document counts alone. To activate predictive filtering, open the Actions menu of the Results list. Predictive phrases and concepts both use the responsive value of the responsiveness field to generate predictions. We can select either one, and the associated smart filter opens, allowing us to immediately see the predictions. Let's select predictive phrases. Predictive filtering is now turned on, and the Phrases smart filter opens. The predictive percentages for each value are sorted from highest to lowest. Percentages can be as high as 100% or as low as -100%. The higher the percentage, the more likely a value is to be associated with responsive documents. Similarly, very low percentages can help you identify documents that are unlikely to be responsive. You may also see 0 percentages. This can mean that there is so little correlation between a smart filter value and responsiveness that the score rounded to 0. It can also mean more documents need to be tagged. To generate predictions, predictive filtering needs positive and negative tagging examples. As predictive phrases uses the responsiveness field to generate predictions, examples in this case would be documents that are tagged either responsive or not responsive. As more documents are tagged with these values, you will see better predictions. If we want to generate predictions using a value other than responsive, we would select Custom Predictive Filtering from the Actions menu of the Results list. When we initially turned on predictive filtering, we did it by selecting predictive phrases, and we see those settings here. The responsiveness field is set as the predicted field. Responsive is set as the predicted value, and the Phrases smart filter is selected. Let's change these settings and select a value in the Issues field instead. In the Predicted Field area, we click the drop-down arrow, locate our Issues field, and select it. We can now click in the Predicted Value area and select our issue value of interest from the list. Let's select Stock Sales. Right away, the Summary panel updates to show a preview of the top 5 values of the Phrases smart filter and their predictive percentages. Not surprisingly, we see the phrase stock prices as one of the top 5 values. There are some other interesting phrases with relatively high scores. To look at those documents, we leave the Phrases smart filter selected and click Save. The Phrases smart filter opens, and we have the option to select any values of interest to give those documents a closer look. Before we do, notice the gray predictive filtering icon. If we change our sort order to count, the predictive percentages go away, but the icon remains. This reminds us that the displayed document counts are still being influenced by predictive filtering, and that they do not count any documents that are already tagged stock sales, our predicted value. Let's change our sort order back to predictive. And now let's filter to documents that contain the phrases million shares, share price, or stock prices. If we expand the current criteria panel, we are again reminded that predictive filtering is on because documents tagged with the predictive value, in this case stock sales, are automatically filtered out. To see all documents related to our selected phrases, we can remove that filter. Predictive filtering is, however, still turned on. We know this because of the dark gray predictive filtering icon in the search panel header. Hovering our mouse on this icon, reminds us which field value we have selected for predictions. Just because we selected the phrases Smart Filter in the custom predictive filtering settings does not mean we're limited to using that filter to see predictive filtering results. Any Smart Filter we open will display predictive percentages. Which are still being generated based off our currently selected predictive value, in this case, the stock sales value of the issues field. When we are done using predictive filtering, we can turn it off and return to regular Smart Filter functionality. The dark gray predictive filtering icon in the search panel header is also an on-off toggle. When we click it, we disable predictive filtering. If later in our current session, we want to turn predictive filtering back on and use the same predicted value, we just click the icon again. We can, of course, open custom predictive filtering at any time to change the field value that is being used to generate the predictions. Our work for today is done. If we log out and close our browser, the next time we want to use predictive filtering, we would need to turn it on again by selecting any of the predictive filtering options in the Actions menu of the results list.